Hello there, and welcome to another ClientTrack training video. In today's video, we will be covering the ever-exciting topic of case notes. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with case notes. We use them on a day-to-day basis. Some of you may use regular case notes, and some of you may use coordinated entry case notes. In today's video, we will be kind of going into the more basic, usual way of logging a case note, and in the second half, I will show you guys an even easier way to assign case notes to a larger amount of clients. But first, let's just jump into a regular case note just to kind of refresh you guys. So as you can see here, we have the test version of the website because of course we always want to protect our clients' information. We will need to go into the Clients tab. As you can see here on the left-hand side of your screen, we'll go ahead and click on that. And then let's find the client that we will need to assign case notes to. So I have Peter here, but we need someone else. Let's go ahead and type in the name. We need a Danny Ross. Go ahead and click search. And as you can see right here, we have our client that we need, Danny Ross. And so for case notes, you have two options when it comes to the person's dashboard. So the first option that is, I wouldn't say most common because it just does, because it really does depend on how your agency wants you to record those case notes. So here you can see the first option, which is under the profile dropdown. If you go to case notes, click on that. Here's where you can find any case notes that have been added in the past. So as you can see here, this person has recently had a case note added. And then if we were to collapse that profile dropdown and go into coordinated entry, you see here we have another option for coordinated entry case notes. So like I said, depending on what your agency prefers, definitely use the case note option for that. But for now, we're just going to log a regular case note. So let's go ahead and go back to this one. We need to find the add new case note button. Go ahead and click that. And so here is where you will need to categorize your case note. So of course, any question that has a red asterisk, you will need to fill out. For this one regarding, it's a text box that you need to type in what this case note will be regarding. So we can go ahead and click services, or we can go ahead and type in services. And then you have the note type dropdown. Although it does not have a red asterisk along with it, it is helpful just to make it a little bit easier and a little bit more accessible if you are accurate with your case note logging. So for now, we're just going to type note. Further below, supervisor review. If a supervisor review is required, please check the box here. So if I were to click this, it'll give us another follow-up question in order to require a supervisor to review it. So we can see here we have a selection of different names. So if I wanted to select myself, I can. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and leave that unclicked. And then further below, you have the case note text field. So here is where you can type in what kind of case note it is, if it's an interaction, if it's a disciplinary action, whatever it may be, here is where you can type it. You also have a template for EHV referral and CalAIM referral. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and keep it as service. And right underneath that, we have this little button right here. So if I were to click on this, this would lock my case note and make it uneditable to other people. Of course, I can go back and edit it, but for others, they can only read it. So we're gonna go ahead and keep that clicked. And then further below, we can log those services. So if this was the situation where we were giving Danny a bus pass or maybe something else, we can definitely log that service here. We would have to click the enrollment. So as we can see here, Danny is currently enrolled in Kings County Coordinated Entry. We can click on that. And then we would go through the fields right here and start selecting the service. As I'm sure you guys are familiar, when assigning services, you would need to put in units of measure, unit value, how many units, what the enrollment is, and what kind of service was given. So when you open those up, you see there's a variety of different services that can be offered. Of course, not all will be the same depending on which agency you are with. But of course, if you need to log that accurately, this would be the best way to do it. For now, we're just going to go ahead and keep it blank. And then at the very bottom, you see these two questions that are pretty common amongst different pages in ClientTrack. So you can either restrict it to your organization so that only your organization can see it, or you can info release it. That way other people can see this case note. Of course, that all is up to user discretion, depending on what the service might be, depending on what the situation might be. But most commonly, we can info release it. So I'll go ahead and click on that and hit save. And just like that, that case note has now been recorded. So as you can see, the previous one, which was on the 3rd, and now the newest one, which is on the 5th. So we can definitely confirm that this case note has been recorded. And if I wanted to get like a printout of these case notes to kind of see and read like a timeline of what's been going on, you can click on this, click print selected, and then it'll give you a Word document of sorts. That way you can kind of see and get an overview of what's been going on with Danny Ross here with services given to him. So a little easy way to kind of get up to speed with what's been going on, especially if there is a lot of case notes that have been added. So I highly recommend using that feature. And then these action gears right here, of course, you can view the case note or you can edit the case note depending on if you let it had it to read only, or if other agencies can also edit it as well. But say you had an entire project's worth of people, and instead of going one by one through each individual and individually logging those case notes, that can take a lot of time. So there is a very useful feature in ClientTrack that can allow you to log multiple case notes for multiple clients. And for that, we would have to get out of the client's work tab and go into the home workspace. So we were in the client's workspace and now we're in the home workspace. And if you drop down here, let me go ahead and collapse that. And if you look here at additional tools and open that up, scroll down a little bit and you see the option for quick notes, multiple clients. So this is an extremely effective way of being much more time efficient, especially for certain agencies that log a lot of case notes for a wide variety of different clients. Here is where you can go through and start logging those. So if I search for a client here, let's search for Daniel, last name Kerr. Let's see, let's search for Mr. Curlin. Here we go. We have Mr. Curlin. We also need to search for Diana, last name Urbani. We also have her here. And then I think Diana also has a son that we need to log case notes in for. I think his name was Brian. And then last name Urbani as well. And if you have the client IDs, you can also search via the client IDs, but for now I'm just going through names. Here we go. We have Brian. And here we would pretty much do the same process as previously. It's not as detailed as the individual case note, but for this, it's a lot easier, especially if it's a lot of people that you have to add case notes for. So you'd have to also put regarding, so we can put service. Go ahead and copy that. Go ahead and copy service, paste. A note category ID. It does not have a red asterisk, so we don't need to worry about that for now. And then right here, it's hard to see, but there's 3 little dots that you can add or that you can click to open up the text box. So you can put service was given. We'll just kind of keep it general now for the sake of time. Go ahead and copy that. And then you can go through each individual and add a different case note, or if it's like the same case note for each of these clients, you can always go ahead and do that as well. So I'll just go ahead and finish this up right here. So service was given. And on the very final right question, you have the restrict to organization or info release. Like I mentioned previously, depending on what the situation may be, will determine if you want to keep it strictly to your organization or if you want others to be able to see it. But for now, we'll just go ahead and info release this. That way others can see it. And then now that we have all these questions filled out, we can click save and close. And now we have logged those case notes to those clients. So just to double check, let's go ahead and find one of those clients that we were just updating case note to. So let's go ahead and search for Brian. Let's see, Brian Urbani, here we have him. Let's go to his case notes, as you can see here on the second layer. And we can indeed confirm that this case note has been added. We have the regarding service. And if we open this up to view it, we can see here, service. Perfect. So this case note was indeed logged, and now that made the entire process that much more efficient because we can select multiple clients, give them, roughly the same note, and that makes your job that much more easier because it can be a little tedious to go through each individual and log a case note. This way, you can just simply go into the Home tab, go to Quick Notes, Multiple Clients, and then you can select all the clients that you need to add a case note for, and then you can make your job that much easier. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful. We do have a lot more training videos in our collection, along with training videos that we are working to produce. Be sure to check out our new user training, which is scheduled for every second Wednesday of the month, where you can kind of get a refresher on ClientTrack, or if you are a new user, you can complete the prerequisite in order to gain access to ClientTrack. And also don't forget our specialized trainings, where we kind of go into detail about specific features in ClientTrack, and we can definitely help out with whatever issue you may be having. So thank you for watching this video, guys. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.